Ayah, how very deep are thy signs. A stupid man cannot know. A fool cannot understand this. When the wicked thrive like grass, and all evildoers flourish, it is that they may be destroyed forever. And my hand took me to that reading, and like in any time that I am going through our ancestors book, it is important that I try to draw a contrast and parallel to my personal life and where those stories add into my experience here in the flesh, and try to learn from their experience and the wisdom that they left us behind to learn from. I have so many notes that I've been going over as I just been picking up thoughts and downloads here and there. And one of them was a questionnaire, a Q&A, if you will. The first question that was asked to me was, what is the meaning of legacy? Not by way of definition, but what does it mean to you? And adding on to that was, who comes to mind when you think of the word? So real quick, and I'll try not to hold my answers too long, because I think it's like 5 or 6 of them. The first one is legacy, and what does it mean to me? To me, it means we'll wait till that sound goes away, and forgive me for that. Yeah, refrigerator noises. Legacy is something that will outlive you thousands of years after our flesh and bones have turned to dust. That a piece of you, and I would hope that it is the better piece of you, is left behind to share with the world of your wisdom through your experience while we were here in our flesh. And when I think of the word legacy, automatically Christ, Yeshua comes to mind. But even in our closer times, so many names, mentors, prophet, messengers, leaders that have graced this world that I draw from, that have left legacy, the majority of whom have passed on, but a strong remains, a strong few remains. So, but at the top of my mind, Yeshua comes to mind as far as legacy. His story that was triumphant, even leading up to his death, is legacy. Second question, let's see. What would I say to my children and loved ones in the future to best describe me? Self-reliance, resilience like the trees, and self-reliance, which have been a two-way edged sword for me in some forms or another. But in short and simple, I would like to say self-reliance, resilience, my faith would best describe me in a few words. In my lifetime, the third question is, in your lifetime, how did you find yourself standing in the gap for humanity. How would you describe yourself standing in the gap for humanity? If God continues to give me the strength and the will, being able to just tell my story and tell it. I heard James Baldwin say this one time, that when it comes time for a writer to write, one of the easiest things to know, but things that you have to face very quickly, is that as a writer, no one can tell you what to write and when to write. And me being able to tell my story in my own way, in hopes that it would deter my children, my nieces, my nephew, my loved ones, my brothers and sisters, and even complete strangers to if it can help them to have a better life, make better decisions, and even pull from my trials and my triumphants to better themselves, I think is the best way I can describe myself standing in the gap for humanity. Next question. What would you say that molded you to this point in your life? Standing up for myself against all odds, without question. Strong-willed, strong-hearted human beings. Some from afar, and some that have been near and dear to my heart. Big Mama, my mentors, my father figures, great thinkers and leaders. I think I would say helped molded me, but more importantly, just being able to get up each morning and continue going, no matter what I've had to face in this world. Definitely. Next question. How do you face your biggest fears and monsters as they arrive throughout your life? That's a very good question. Head on. Patience, control, but head on. For your fears and the monsters that any of us have had to face, the easiest and the best thing that we could do is to face them head on with control and to the best of our ability. Patience, faith. But even the word control, it makes me think of the scriptures, whereas he says, there's a prayer, there's a Bible verse, and I want to misquote it here, but it says something along the line of, give me the strength to change what I can and what I can't control, but to know its difference between the two. So control is a big one when facing your fears and monsters in this world. There's some things that is out of our control, and we have to accept that. But the things that are in our grasp and control, we're obligated to come to a turning point where we have to make choices. So that is a biggest way to conquer your fears of monsters that you may face that arrived. At least that has been from my experience, my strong suit. Next question was, give me 10 words to work with in the future. Just 10 words. Okay. Force, motion, opposition, substance, form, light, love, the one universal creator, Mother Earth. 9. And I'll leave 10 open for you in the future to continue that, because I think that was very, very deep. And those would be at least 9 out of 10 words that I would leave behind. And in this testimony, in this sharing my truth, which may not align with your truth, but that don't mean your truth is not your truth. And I think us as individuals that have been pushed into boxes, neighborhoods, countries, nations, we have to come to understand that our truth may not always align, but that does not mean we can't come to a place of respect for one another, even in our differences, to respect one another enough to know that our truth may be different from one another, but truth is truth nonetheless. And so I hope that as Mother Earth and the world continues to turn, that we do better in going forward and trying to find balance in one another's truth. And in truth, no rocks will go unturned. No ill wills will go unnoticed. Karma is very real, and it's very much something that is to be reckoned with. And I would say that even here today in 2024, January 24th, 2024. Interesting. Those numbers without 24 and 24 is 12. Good number. Just for a minute, imagine this lady who truth weighs her spirit and her heart down every day. And those that she wants to share this truth with, usually pushes it to the side, make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, or even sometimes make her out to be the blame. And so her truth never gets exposed, so much so that it eats her from the inside out and takes away years off of her life. When her sponge of searching for knowledge and wisdom and having so much in her tank to share with the world was shrunk down because of this pain that she was holding on to on the inside. And some may ask, well, why hold on to it? And what I found in talking different people and walks of my life is that there's so much going on in the world that at times it feels like her pain and her struggle is not worth bringing up when there is so many other fires to be put out in this world. And so at times she feels like she's one of many, and her pain won't get felt even if she opens up and shares it. But I bring this story up as I bring it to a closing and full circle. Imagine for just a moment that abuse and pain that she's had to endure. And not physical abuse, but a different kind of abuse that strikes and scars your insides, your soul, your spirit, your heart, your laughter. That throughout the years it dimmed her light. What would you say to her? And before you take that and answer or into consideration, close your eyes just for a minute and think of all that I've shared with you about this human being. Wonderful, gold-hearted of a person. This beautiful woman, internally as well as externally. But close your eyes and just imagine that she was you before you begin to share on and the advice of what to do. Imagine she was all of us. When we look at life in such a way, it makes it easier for us to identify with the pain that another goes through. Forgive me. Ice machine. It makes us easier to identify the pain in another. And as I bring it to a head and close, I thank our Creator for at the time going through the pain, the bruises, the hurt, the scars. We can't see the good. We can't see the value in having experience. But if you can somehow find the strength to get up from all of that, I would tell her she has a story to tell. And it is worth being heard. If it's from no one else, I would give ear to it. But again, imagine this lady was you. And so in closing, I want to thank you for allowing me to share a reading, which always gives me satisfaction of my soul and spirit when I know that I was sent here. And I get this question asked to me often: have you found your new purpose? You know, because there used to be what goals are we striving to accomplish and adhere to? What goals have you checked off your list? And after list after list and check mark after check mark, you run into a brick wall where you're no longer creating goals. And so the next question as you get older in life is, what is your next purpose? What's your next chapter, and what is its purpose? And since I was a young child, I always knew somehow, some way, my purpose was to give light to our Creator. As I went looking for Him in my darkest hours of my life, in the darkest moments of my life, I went looking for Him. And I went to many places and saw many faces. The further I went out looking for Him, He always sent me in a U-turn back inwardly. Say that again. The more I searched for Him outwardly, the world, people, churches, groups, etc., etc. He always turned me back inward. Message. And I say that to say this. I am a walking testimony today of his greatness, his hand. And so when asked nowadays, what is your purpose in this chapter? I always refer back to that saying that my purpose, I know, is to teach the world of through my experiences, the hands of our Creator that I know without a shadow of a doubt in my heart that I've saw in this lifetime show up in my life, move things, people, and places around, and help me each time that I've been knocked down. And I have failed and fell so many times that one day you look around and without notice, without warning, it seems like you succeeded because you failed so goddamn much. So, I say that in closing. And I say all that I've shared with you in shalom and in harmony, peace, and only to bring balance and love and righteousness. And no, that's not what I'm really all about, because there's so much times where I've asked and had conversations with the Lord and said, why equip me to deal with some of these battles that you won't let me fight? Why then give me the skills and the tool belt that was necessary to defeat some of these people if you're not even going to give me permission and the green light to do so? And I've always got the same response from our Creator, which is wounds and scars will heal. But you can't repay wrong with wrong unless you don't believe in that I will cover you with my blood. I will cover you with protecting you. I will hold you near and dear to my heart. And if you trust in me so much so that you won't repay that eye for eye at times, because I'm only human, damn it, I can't do it every time, but I've trusted in our Creator so much, and He's shown me His hand, so I only can do my due diligence now in life in picking Him up and lifting Him up to the youth, to my elders, or to anyone that will listen, from strangers